right now. I'm serious. Get to your safe spot. You need to be in the lowest interior part of a sturdy structure. Get there now. This is a dangerous situation that has been ongoing as this, I'm sorry, I'm getting choked.
It's okay. And I would advise anybody with kids.
I'm back with you guys. Sorry about that. Just getting a little choked up. So Ludlow Falls, you're in the path of this storm. We're talking about areas just north of West Milton. This is near the eventually up towards St. Paris if this storm maintained its path. But we're really under the gun there. Yeah, and now we're getting a tornado emergency coming in from Montgomery County. That is the highest level of warnings that you can get.
A tornado emergency is pretty rare.
This is Traffic Tracker. This is on I-70 in Huber Heights. I would say whoever is driving that car needs to find a safe spot. Right. Yeah, I want our crew to get off the road at this point.
That, Sean?
This is not a safe spot.
We're hearing the
I can hear the sirens.
Yeah.
We are dealing with a catastrophic event.
We heard the warnings on the television. We heard the sirens go off. They say it sounds like a freight train, but I'll tell you what, that 10 seconds was louder than that. Once that was happening, I realized, holy shit, this is for real. "14 hours after the tornadoes hit, I decided to take a walk to see the damage. I expected when I got to the most hardest hit places that I'd be able to shoot some video and be done with it. This ended up being an all-day thing. The hardest hit places were very hard hit. It was the most intense thing I think I've ever seen. The amount of damage was unreal. So once again, we are kind of stuck. We got power lines freaking everywhere. I don't know if you can see. The tower here is falling. And then we're over here, this one's totally falling down. All the power lines are like kind of hanging on the ground. And it looks like they got it taped off on the other side, but not on this side. So I'm probably way too close. But the problem presents is, how do I get around this? So this is just random, but there's a street light, and it's been totally, look at that, it's been totally just bent over like it was nothing. And it's buried by these trees. So I don't know if the trees did it or what. It's pretty insane. It's a lot of power to be able to bend that kind of metal like that. I got a generator running the store.
I stayed last night for a long walk. Tonight I gotta go all the way across town to get home. At my son's house. I moved down to my apartment yesterday. Slow it, kid.
Don't worry about the change. Put towards the window. Take it easy. So we just went to this grocery store, or this little convenience store, and they got hit with a tornado. So they have no power, so it's cash only, and you know, it's really dark in there. So I went in and bought stuff. Luckily I had a flashlight, but they got a little generator outside to run their cash register and stuff. So this car, I mean, look at this. This is just insane. It's hard to even say what happened to it. Look at that glass. I was helping people pull buildings off of their cars. I was helping getting power lines untangled from car axles. That one doesn't even have the roof. There's that one, but they've tarped it up. But you get the whole community out here working, trying to get it back together.
We need water for the dog. Water for the dog. Okay.
Good. Thank you so much. Yeah, should be.
We're the Tri-State Response Team. We're based out of Clinton County, Ohio.
Clinton County, okay.
Yep, and we have a small group of volunteers. We have been FEMA trained, certified, and we're a response team.
And you're bringing like water?
Bottled water, and we make go bags with toiletries, wet wipes, stuff like that. Just a little bit of refreshment for people.
Everything everybody's gonna need, and
Yeah.
something crazy like this.
We usually do a secondary run with tarps, clean up stuff like that.
Cool.
So my
Keep up-
husband grew up here, so we wanted to kind of reach out to the local people here.
Well, keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And thank you. Mike, the mic is live.
Yay! We can be heard.
How's everybody doing? Boy, I swear we get smaller in the camera every freaking week.
He keeps zooming it backwards so it looks like we lost weight.
So who we got? I see Jacob here. Hey Jacob, Kirk, Micah.
And Kevin.
Oh, Micah, the tornadoes in this town was last year. And
Yeah.
Kevin, hello. Yeah, actually it was Memorial Day, and we are coming up to the anniversary, and I have a full video that'll be out Memorial Day, because 14 hours after the tornado, I decided to go out with the camera and walk, and I walked literally 20 miles. And yeah, I got some of the very first footage, and it was weird because everybody was already fixing up stuff. There was no power anywhere, and I was planning to take pictures, but then I saw how bad the damage was, and I ended up like helping people just do whatever they needed. Can you help me get this off the car? In the meantime, this little neighborhood, one of the neighborhoods, many neighborhoods that got hit, there were people, it was wall-to-wall traffic of people going through, and they just had their hand out the window with their phone, just live streaming damage, but they weren't helping anybody. They were just causing all this traffic congestion.
Yeah.
So if you do want to see that video on Monday, it's going to be kind of long because we cover a lot. Short link would be at wedovids.com/tornado, and that's on Monday. So, be aware of the nose scratching.
We don't want anybody to think you have the COVID.
Well, I know. It just seems like when the camera goes on, my nose just...
And face itches. Yeah, what the hell?
So yeah, you see some of the pictures, some of the damage from that day, that evening. And like I said, I was out there literally 14 hours, and it was more destruction than I think I've ever seen in my life. And it was pretty crazy. So, anyhow, there'll be more of those pictures out for people to see soon.
Yeah.
So, how have you been this week, Sarah?
Oh, I've been good. How has everybody else been? It's been a slow week, of course. People are supposed to be open, but, as event photographers, that's really not happening much, so things are a little slow. So my good friend here got me a desk on the side of the road that I've been working on refinishing.
You've been going crazy. That's all you've been doing. It's just sanding. Just it's just sound.
Well,
it's
you
just
gotta paint,
constant.
then sand, then paint.
I'm having
then sand.
nightmares about it at this point. Just that sound.
Well, it's right behind us. Oh, we have a guest appearance from Penny.
Hey, Nate, how's it going? So that Nate just joined.
Penny just joined.
And I got too many things going on again.
Okay, I won't cover your face.
Oh, she can be seen.
Yeah, see, this is our treat coordinator. She just made an appearance.
So you've been doing that.
Yes.
And I've been sitting in front of the computer. We have a new tech project that's...
There she goes. She has to go that way, under the...
Yeah,
Sit.
she's like, she heard us, talking. She's like, oh, I'm part of the whole crew here. God, now I'm so self-conscious of the nose scratching. And it just itches more. I'm just like, ah. So yeah, the tornado thing. I'm excited about doing this video. I've actually just set on this. I've set on everything with the tornado video for a year. I actually wanted to do something totally different with it, but then I kept watching the news and was like, okay, they kind of did that. Okay, what's next? They kind of did that. I was like, well, none of them were out there walking around. Talking to the community the day after, that
That was a dangerous
afternoon.
thing to do. I was a little worried about you that
Yeah, I was walking, as you'll see in the video, I'm walking. I'm getting blocked everywhere I'm walking by power lines.
Yes, power
and,
lines.
I couldn't go anywhere. So, what else have we done? Oh, we went and took pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the paper picture thing again.
Yeah, we've been there this place almost every season, and it's basically this car graveyard. This like foreign automotive place closed like in the 90s. So these cars have been sitting there since.
Yeah, they're just in the back of it as if they were just abandoned.
And yeah,
totally abandoned business. All these foreign cars, so that were in pretty good shape the first time I saw them 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah, the scrappers have hit them up. And what's cool about it and why we keep going there every season, as you can see on the screen, is we already saw that picture. But the trees are growing over them, in them, through them, and it's
the rapid deterioration of.
It's only showing 3 pictures of my slideshow I put together. I had all kinds of pictures.
They were probably too big.
Yeah, just the 3. Yeah, they were probably too big. You're probably right. So yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. So we have a YouTube channel now. We've only used the YouTube channel for storage, because otherwise all the videos we do, it would take too much. But you should go like them. You should go like us, because we only have like 4 followers.
Right.
We've never promoted it.
But yeah, and I mean, YouTube seems to be the thing for video people, and I've never been much into it other than watching it when I'm trying to sleep at night. You don't want to let it just keep going.
Oh God, yeah, don't. YouTube recommendations is a terrible thing. It doesn't, it automatically plays the next thing. You're like going to sleep to dog videos. Next thing you're like you're in the middle of a war somewhere and stuff, or worse.
Yeah.
Or you can find the dark side of the internet really fast that way.
Yeah, just by going to sleep to it. I wouldn't recommend it.
Hold on here. This doesn't even work anymore. If you're joining our main page, I can't even see if you're saying anything. So what else do we have going on? Oh, there is a Michael Baker. Hello, Michael Baker. So I built a website, one of the many tech things I've been doing. So you can go to whatissafeworthnow.tk, and let's see if my net worth has went up. I'm going to reload. I'm up to $2.74 since I started. $2.74. So again, just in case anybody really
yeah, go ahead and when him and I get in an argument and I click on his worth, it goes down. Like one time it was like 20 cents after a particularly bitter phone argument.
See, I just totally went down to 21 cents.
See, I even brought it up. Right, exactly. Yep.
So that's the website's out there. Put, a good 20 minutes into that whole endeavor. And I'm launching it. The ad campaigns are going out there. And
so Micah says that home birth is what he YouTubes. I can't imagine what comes of that.
Home birth. Hello, Amber. How's it going? Home birth.
Home birth.
William Miller. Hello. We had a couple things we were going to talk about this week.
Yeah.
You worked in news for how long?
Since straight out of college, I got a job with Springfield News Sun.
Now,
and that seemed to be the season to go to work for a newspaper.
No, you've had.
That's our spider friend. Don't smush him.
Oh God, yeah. He just seriously. How was he way over there? His
he
legs
is
so
after the
small.
alcohol that you have there. Yeah, we have a friend, and
spiders.
Anybody who knows me knows that I love insects. Had I not been a photographer, I would have been an agricultural entomologist, not a forensics one, because that's just too much dead stuff. But don't hurt him.
I'm not.
But yes, I love the critters, and And I photograph a lot of insects and
Yeah,
have a lot
I'm
of knowledge about them.
not a big bug fan.
He
kind of freaked me out.
yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with spiders. I want more of them, but bugs.
Yes, we need spiders to kill the little pesky things.
So what we were about to just
We're talking about news.
Oh, news.
Yeah, we were talking about things to talk about, and it was down to our 3 favorite books or our
Which
craziest.
maybe next week.
Yeah, probably next week. We don't have the covers copied and ready yet. But anyway, plus, oh god, some of our selections are going to make us look kind of weird.
Not me.
Oh, him. Yeah.
No. I mean, there's a lot of Star Trek novels in there, so.
So we're talking about Micah's covered in bug tattoos. I want to see this. Yeah, news stuff, weird news experiences. And so I started thinking about some of mine. And of course, I've always been an editorial style photographer.
No,
I've
this
always
is
been interested.
this is photography. This
Right.
isn't like going out shooting or doing the reporter thing. You're taking pictures.
You know, I'm into that also. Yes, this was strictly a newspaper as a still photographer, though I have evolved into more of the video media.
Yeah, we've done some of the
Right.
video stuff.
Right, and I wanted to back then,
Cutthroat,
but
too.
it was a little harder to get into back then with the television stations. So first you had to be able to lift that camera. But yeah.
No, you've had to go out you almost friended some sort of serial killer. Like
I friended several since then, not really. No, I came in 1995. I came into my first job at Springfield News Sun, and it was while there were a series of bodies that kept being found in the Springfield area, and it turned out the murderer was William Sapp. And I remember this case vividly because I was told by my boss, really watch out while you're on the scene. If you go out on a scene where they found a body, be really careful because I think the guy who's doing it is coming to the scenes. And I'm like, you're crazy. There's no way. So, there's always that charming guy that talks to you at the scene. Well, it turns out he was right. This guy was showing up at these scenes.
You can be kind of gullible sometimes, so I will.
No, I do not recall talking to this person in person at all, but I do quite vividly recall the scenes that I witnessed, and it was
Now you've had to do the whole bulletproof vest thing.
only
too.
once. That would be the Kevin Neal case where the 2 children were missing, and I don't want to get my facts wrong, so I don't want to say the result of that, but I know he was absolutely tired of the press and coming out to his house and looking for these missing children in Urbana. And I was called by the same boss one day and told, hey, don't come out today. You're going to go cover the fair this week. This was in 96. And I'm like, what's going on? He says, this Kevin Neal's sitting on the porch with a shotgun. I'm like, I'm on my way. I grabbed the bulletproof vest, which we had 3, I believe, in the pool lens area where we kept all the equipment. And I suited up and went out there. It was the hottest day of the year. It was awful.
I mean, you're kind of small. How heavy? I mean, especially back then.
They had a small one.
But how heavy was I?
Very heavy.
Today they're pretty thin.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably like, ugh.
Yeah, they were. It just felt like wearing a suit of cat litter bags or something, and it was very heavy and very hot.
Bag.
And then you've got your equipment over it, and you realize he's just gonna shoot me in the face anyway.
Oh God.
But I don't know. I don't remember being particularly fearful of those scenes. I was more afraid of some of the accident scenes that I'd had to photograph and getting hit while on those scenes.
Oh, like on the highway where you're out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also got to witness a riot in Berkeley, California. I was a student at the time. That's some of the things I've photographed through the years. That is some concert footage of Kiss and Primus, and this is the riot that I was in Berkeley. Those are riot cops. And that situation was, like I said, I was just a student. But that situation was also really scary. I just remember it starting out as a peaceful protest about some police brutality that had gone on. And that got very scary very quickly. Also, I covered the drug addiction scene there in San Francisco. And this was the KKK rally here in Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, what year was that?
I was also very scared.
90s.
I was very, very scared there because that was the only time I actually had quite a bit of a run-in with some scary people.
Some scary people. Hey, Dave, how's it going? Hello.
Yeah, but this is some of my early journalism. So, yeah, some pretty scary situations, but
I mean, I've done some of the video news, but I think most of the time I've either had the news media steal my material, or they've made me look like a total ass on the internet. I remember a locally owned bookstore. I worked at the place, and they got bought out by the big corporate Books a Million, and everybody we were told no one's getting fired. Then they gave us personality tests, which were very new at the time. And I remember, the newspaper was doing these editorial comics, like trying to equate it to communist Russia. And I just remember I put out a press release, got this whole thing together at the college where all the news media got to talk to us. And I said all kinds of cool things, sounded really smart. And when it aired on the news, they got me in the elevator, and here's what it was like. And boom, we were gone. That was all that aired. All the smart things I said.
yeah, because you guys were all fired.
Yeah, and you know what? Still, that was a terrible. Books a Million, go to hell. No one even remembers how cool
I'm
that
sure
place was.
they do. I'm sure somebody on here is going, I know exactly what they're talking about.
Let's see what I'm worth real quick.
Gosh, let's see if his worth went up after
I don't
that
think my
story.
worth went up. Hey, Amy Harbor.
Amy, are you on a Survivor break?
Oh, that was Wednesday. We switched to Thursday.
Oh, yes, we are on a different day. That's true.
Speaking of that, we're doing these long-form COVID-19 talks. Amy is our most recent one.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow we will have one with Jeremy, who is a doctor of education at University of Colorado. And he is going to tell us, this is a really good conversation,
Yes.
too. He's going to be talking about higher education during the COVID era. So that's kind of interesting.
Very interesting out there. I'm surprised how much like us they are out there in Colorado.
Yeah, and it's just some of the weird things you don't think of in all these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, we've talked to people with, certain titles and whatnot who know different things. Let me be more specific. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. But a lot of stuff's been called out. The stuff that has started to happen.
Yeah.
has
And then
been called
later
out,
on you
so.
hear, wait, yeah, they were just talking. We were just talking to someone last week about this, and now it's happening.
Right.
Yeah. So what's going to happen next? What's everybody think? With everything being open but not open, which I kind of agree with. I mean, the restaurants are supposed to be opening up. A lot of them have signs that say we will open very slowly and gradually. Until then, you pick up your stuff at the curb.
Everything, so much stuff is still closed. And I know the local city commission here just banned wearing masks, but only while committing crimes.
That's an interesting story.
That's something else.
Yeah. So does that mean, wait, does that mean if I'm not wearing a mask, I might be getting ready to commit a crime?
No, I think that means like if you want COVID, go commit a crime. I'm not sure.
The title alone sounds hilarious.
Hi, Sandy. I see a Sandy.
Hey, you've got more fans than I do.
Of course I do. Do you see how cute I am? Oh God, please stop.
I was just massaging my own foot with that hand too.
For all fairness on the Dayton bans wearing masks while committing crimes, this was something that came up after the KKK rally here like a year ago, which I don't think I agree with, but the way the news took that and manipulated that headline to put that out right now,
right? Yeah,
is kind of funny.
Yeah. Amy says the mayor of Chicago said, "I don't care what the governor said. We are not opening restaurants."
Yeah, there's a lot of court going on, back and forth with a lot of that stuff. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I think it should be up to the restaurants themselves.
Speaking about just the media, like just that story we just had on the screen, which was that came out at a whole different time, and they're totally using this headline because people are wearing masks now, right?
Yeah.
Like, now I've totally made people look pretty bad on camera, but it was factual. I swear to God. I mean, I guess that article is factual too, but I mean, that's not our values. Like when we put out a video, like we have shot for the news and then they tweak it together. We do like an interview with someone and they take the worst. Like, I think she was talking about her dog and it's something about, something totally different. Like, just our values are a little different than trying to manipulate.
Right. It also is very easy, having worked in the news as long as I have, to go in with a preconceived idea about what the story is about, to the point where you're trying to find that angle and you miss what it's really about. And then imagine putting that back together and not really knowing everything that's going on, trying to edit the story together. You're going to go by what you know about.
That's when you make stuff up.
I think that happens. No, you don't make stuff up.
Right.
We are not accusing anyone of that.
No, we're not.
But I do agree with the values. And in the 90s, with the age of digital coming, they were really, really insistent that we be very truthful. We weren't allowed to retouch any of our photography or anything back then because we didn't want to make a story look like it was something other than what it was, because we didn't want to lose our credibility.
And that's kind of, and now you can't even tell if a video is for real.
Right.
You got the deep fakes and stuff.
I think that's why everybody's attracted to the phone videos. Who's going to manipulate those phone videos? You're probably going to trust that a little bit more than you would some Hollywood promo looking portrait lighting thing.
I don't know. I mean, if you want to turn... I can't wait till those theaters come out and they're like 6 stories high.
Yeah, the vertical
and
video,
they're like
yes.
they're wide enough for like 4 rows worth of...
We'll have to be stacked. It'll just have to be little, like...
And the old theaters will have to do the blurry sides, like we used to want letterbox.
No, they're going to tilt the whole screen. Yeah, and we're going to go to the movie theater. This is going to happen.
Imagine a drive... I know they're going out of style. There's a couple still left here. Imagine the drive-in theaters with that. You need binoculars to see the top of it.
Yeah. I don't know. That would be kind of cool. I mean, you already see it in advertising in some of the grocery stores.
Well, and a lot of the apps encourage it, like Instagram, always encourages it.
I think it should be discouraged. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned.
No, I think it looks dumb. I mean, it just looks stupid. Hey, Corey, how's it going? Yeah, it just looks dumb. I don't think... what if someone... what if phones, when they first came out... I mean, what if you have to flip the screen, like the old flip phones? What if they made the phones triangle when they first came out and you had to, do
oh, God, don't
video?
suggest anything. Now we're going to have triangular compacts.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. You know what? If you're going to...
Soon you're going to be wearing them on your vest. A little triangle,
Take your phone, and all you have to do is turn it this way, okay? And a good hint is your buttons. The buttons to navigate. Oops, I'm turning my volume up.
Yes, don't do that.
The button should always be on the right side. So don't film videos like this. Film videos like that, unless they're really tall, whoever you're filming. And then still don't. Yeah,
just climb on a step stool like I have to.
What kind of ridiculous news have we heard this week?
My gosh, he sent me a series of news stories about just copyright stuff, and I got so angry after the first 3 that I didn't even finish.
It just keeps going. It's so ridiculous.
Right. We talked a little bit about this a couple weeks ago with Getty Images and some of their copyright issues. Yeah, people are getting a little upset with Google and Google Images. I love searching Google Images. You pick a thing and you can find it. Now, so they created this whole standard from metadata for... so that you can say, hey, this is mine. You can license it. And I think the thing is Google puts, hey, you can license this image. However, one of the most popular services to host your photography site is Squarespace. And they are just stripping that data right out of your photos. Right.
So you're a photographer. You put your photos up on your website on Squarespace. And they just strip that data out and ends up in Google image search anyways.
Right, which leaves it very vulnerable to be stolen or orphaned or assumed orphaned. And then someone else picks it up and claims
and steals it.
Right, and then you have to fight to show that it was yours, which you might not even.
And you know, like they say in the article here, Squarespace, please stop doing this. Like, just
yeah, we're supposed to give a
seriously.
shout out to Squarespace. Just stop it.
Yeah, and they sponsor a lot of people on YouTube. So
Well, they're aligned with Getty Images, which is a little scary. I
Speaking
don't want
of-
my whole portfolio to be in the access of Getty Images.
well, with you can't because you'll get in trouble. Like, no, you'll get in trouble if that stuff ends up and people start stealing it. They're going to look at some of your clients.
Right.
Are going to look at you first. Like, how did people get this?
Actually, yes, and I'm very careful about that. My clients own the copyrights to their images that I shoot for them, especially newspapers.
Another funny, I wouldn't call this funny at all, actually, but another weird story. Got more people?
Ryan and
Hi,
Kevin
Ryan.
came back.
No, Kevin's back. He got bored with us and was like, oh, God, these guys again. So another thing, and I guess this is, I think, 3 years in the works. An ex-McDonald's worker, Getty Images again. Her picture of her working at McDonald's when she was 15 has been sold to everybody and anybody for $600
That's a
shot.
lot of money. I wouldn't mind having that for one of my photos.
And some of the headlines, it's like, pregnant worker can't fit into her uniform anymore. And Getty was just like, no, you got to talk to the people who paid $600 to use this image. And I guess it took 3 years. I guess it was a show of good faith, but it took her forever. I mean, I don't
To
want...
get the image down.
Yeah, I don't want an image of me at 15. I know, speaking of news, remember when my sister was born, I was 8 years old, and the newspaper was in there, and I ran into a wall because I was like, why are you talking to me? And I just ran straight into the wall, and then went and hid in the elevator.
Now, what was that story about?
It was about people getting sisters who suck. No, not that my
He's
sisters
still
suck.
not over it. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's...
He's not over the
My
little sister that
doesn't
came
s-
home.
My sister doesn't suck. We were kind of... The age difference was kind of a lot. Who
Hey,
else we got?
Tom.
Hi, Tom.
We have a fellow news person joining us.
Oh, we've been talking a lot about news.
We've been talking a lot about news, yes.
Yeah, working for the news and, yeah. What else has been happening? Oh, actually, another little newsy thing that we found was the fact that, all these
Oh,
students
gosh.
are failing their
Is anybody going through
AP
this?
exams because their website won't accept Apple photos.
Right, because they're in a different format other than JPEG. What is that new format?
That new format, oh God, you know, this is something we should know.
Yes, we should. HEIC.
Yes. And it's a more compressed format.
It's supposed to be more, you're supposed to maintain more data information with
a smaller
better
file size. Now,
Right.
I'm sorry though. Okay, first of all, this website, AP exam website, they should have had this already covered. You know how many people are going to be using their iPhones? Second of all, they have this whole thing
You know, they didn't see
about
that
how to
coming.
go into settings. Like, we're not going to change our website. You just open your settings and do 18 steps. You know,
Worse than that, though, is that they're not allowing them to resubmit. That's the part I don't understand. Why can't you just resubmit in another format rather than have to do the makeup test or fail?
now, one thing I will
There
say
may be something I missed on that.
about Apple. Apple is absolutely a, hey, Daniel Gomez. Apple is a terrible thing to trying to force change on people instead of like letting something gradually happen. You know, the MacBooks, we lost the CD-ROM drive or the DVD drive.
Yeah, that.
The iPhone, we lost, and this is terrible because everybody's wanting to use their phone for video. We lost the headphones jack, which is also the mic jack.
Right, yes.
So now you have to rely on Bluetooth. And when I say rely on, I say that it's not as reliable as being hardwired in.
Right.
What's the next thing? Hey, I bet you the next iPhone won't even have a screen.
No.
Seriously though, that's what they've done.
You'll have to get an eye implant.
We're gonna do everything different. You know, Apple is not at a place to continue to do.
Yeah, I
Kinda
graduated
force
from
that kinda
Apple
stuff.
quite a few years ago for those reasons.
You got some people?
No,
Just talking. Sorry, not sorry. What was
Team Apple here. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, well, you know, Apple is a culture. You know, and it's like the iPhone is like, it's like a Rolex watch. I'm like, hey, I got a phone. Well, I have a Rolex. You know, it's kind of that whole kind of same thing.
Well, you know, back in the day, Photoshop was only for Apple, and so that was
It's
why we
true.
had them in college, and that's why I learned on a Mac, which I appreciate having done. But
I think Premiere was also only Apple only in the beginning.
right, it was the Adobe thing.
I also know ecosystem is amazing. Another Apple fan. We're just pissing off all the Apple
We're
fans.
sorry, it's nothing personal.
You know, but also Apple started early on, like back in the 80s when the Commodores and the Ataris were out. They started by making contracts with a lot of schools to get kids to learn Apple over everything else. So when they got out of school, of course, what are they going to want? Apple.
That's what I wanted, yes, absolutely, and that's what I learned on further in my career, going digital from film with the newspapers. It was all Mac stuff, but
Now, I used to write software for Windows and saw it, and I know this for a fact because I had a couple colleges using my software. One was in Wisconsin Tech Institute. And then over the next 5 or 6 years, all these Wisconsin government places were ordering that same software. So yeah, it makes money beyond, what you're getting from the school. So that was just kind of an interesting thing. I think the last little bit of weekly news that we saw, I'm moving things around, was that Washington State was the first one to put out guidelines on COVID-19 for the safety protocols, which, oddly enough, actually almost read just like ours, which we put out a couple weeks ago.
yeah,
And they take PPA stuff from
Professional Photographers of America,
and
proud members.
and some of the health department stuff, but actually the state of Washington actually cut and paste from PPA pretty much. So, I mean, that's just kind of an interesting that we actually have a state actually giving guidelines for a very specific industry
Yes,
that you wouldn't expect
true,
them to give things for.
and that's awesome.
To each their own. iMovie is just these. Oh God, the
iMovie was. I've used it a couple times. It was easier to do.
the Apple
But don't you
fanboys are
like?
coming
I liked
in.
the Windows one too, but you had to pay for it.
Windows Movie Maker
don't you have to pay for it now?
was actually, for what it did, was pretty decent.
I used it for little slideshows.
It was
and
free
stuff,
for a
yes.
long time.
Right.
Then,
And then you had to pay for it, and it's
why
like,
you have to
okay,
pay
never
for
mind.
it. Not to say that there's ways around that, but I'm not gonna say anything else about that.
Okay.
So I don't know what else.
Oh, I can't think of anything. Next week we're going to talk about books.
Oh,
You
yeah.
ready for that?
I am absolutely ready.
I
for
have
that.
found, and has anyone else gone through this? Any avid readers in their life have a huge collection of books that they can't read anymore because they can't see. I'm thinking about getting rid of my books. I can't see. I can't see the print. I mean, I could get glasses, but it makes me feel ill. I mean, I have to get the print edition that like the letters are like this big,
No.
or the electronic book where you can change that. But I have all these beautiful hardbacks that I've collected, and I can't read them.
Back in the day of mail order before online
Oh,
ordering,
God.
I actually published a book, published several different titles, and actually I had a business selling books. It was quite a big business with a catalog. I feel bad to say that I actually mostly do ebooks now.
Right, yeah.
Now I have my
Well, I think you have
little
maybe.
tablet, so
I think you have maybe 4 of those books that you distributed.
actually, if you want to count the smaller little thing, I think about a dozen that I published, and then I don't know, I think 700-800 titles we carried in the catalog, which I only lived in a 2-bedroom apartment, so if you can imagine 10 to 20 copies of 700-800 books, I didn't have a place to sleep. So.
You don't want a lot of match anywhere near me. There.
Right. So I think that's something. We're also we have some kind of cool ideas for what we're going to do on live streams.
Right. We're probably going to back off a little bit, though, because it's getting to be quite a bit of work to put them together.
We're going to do one next Thursday, and I think we might go back to, things are kind of returning to normal. People are out of their houses a little bit, so we might kind of back off.
Right.
I don't know how much, but we'll...
Right. We hopefully we'll be working a little bit, but, being event photographers, it's it's not going to happen. A whole lot of events are going to be happening.
Now, our podcast is probably also back up to about once a month. Hey, Sarah Ryan, we're about to end. Good to see you.
Hey, I got the vacuum, okay? My friend, she got me a vacuum cleaner. I'm so happy because I've wanted one for so long. So she got me one for
It's
my
your birthday all month.
Yeah, it's my birthday all month. So it came today. Thank you so much. I'm thrilled with it. I cannot wait to suck up the pet hair. I mean, anybody who has dogs knows you have to have a vacuum cleaner. It's impossible to be without one. I'm going to vacuum the dogs.
Dirty, but...
No, don't. Just
okay.
Keep it shut.
Micah's back. Hi, Micah, again. So yeah, our podcast, I think we're going to be moving to that once a month format. So that is going to be happening. Pixel Pushers Podcast.
Yes, it's hard to say it too fast.
Next one's tomorrow. Going to be awesome. This is a good one too. That can be found at all places that podcast spawn.
And grow and flourish.
Yeah. And so yeah, Google Play, iTunes, Spotify. Just look Pixel Pushers Podcast and look for her face.
My face.
Not me.
No, he makes some pretty funny faces.
Sarah says, glad it came.
Yay! We found it.
So with that, I think we're going to call it good. Did we go on for long enough? Yes.
Yeah, of course. It's 9:35.
We don't have anything to close with this weekend. I might just turn off the camera and let you see some pictures from the tornado, because I know we didn't kind of go through those. And like I said, Memorial Day, we will have Memorial Day. This whole video will be out about the 1 year after a tornado, when I walked around 15 hours later with my pup, and it's kind of cute. So anyways, you guys, thanks for joining us next Thursday, and then I don't know what our schedule is going to be.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, take care.
Bye.